Welcome to the talk show Life Stories with Marc Hoberman. The goal of this show is to provide a learning experience to people of all ages, with guests from various fields in academics, a wide range of industries, and insight into the many forms of art, athletics, and entertainment. We hope you enjoy the show. Today's guest is a gemologist who is known as the jewelry designer to the stars. Monalisa Okojie will speak about her education, passion, and drive for success.
I'm Marc Hoberman, and I'm proud to announce that our guest today is Monalisa Okojie. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did. Hello, everyone.
Monalisa is a gemologist and known as the jewelry designer to the stars, and much, much more. Monalisa, welcome to Lighting the Educational Flame.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here today.
Thrilled to have you. How did you begin to create and then follow your amazing passion for jewelry and jewelry design more specifically?
It actually started as a hobby. I just love jewelry. I grew up wearing a lot of jewelry. And when I moved to the United States in 1998, I started to go around looking for 18 karat gold jewelry, and realized that the USA mainly had 14 carats. So it was really difficult. But I found a jeweler who was willing to make some pieces for me in 18 karat gold. And each time I'll go to him, we'll sit together, I'll create a design, and then it just evolved from there. I had friends and family who will say, you know what, I like that design. Can you make it for me? And I'm like, oh yeah, some guy made it for me, blah, blah, blah. And that was how it started. Well, so it was a passion that evolved into a business.
Excellent. There's a big difference between, wow, that's a nice necklace, and wow, my brain is going to design a nice necklace.
Yes.
That's a huge difference. How does that, is that all about molds? Is that about you drawing it? And it's got to really be some kind of process.
Yeah, it is a long process. First of all, it comes with the, come up with a design in your mind. You get inspired by different things, flowers, light bulbs, clothes designs. I personally like a lot of colors. And I realized that I needed to know some details, especially about gemstones, right, diamonds and sapphires and all that. So I decided to go to Gemological Institute of America in Culver City, and I learned how to measure the stones, weigh them, and the differences between gemstones. That I didn't know at all. And then, so I started learning how to put that in the designs I was imagining in my head, and then finally learned how to actually create designs.
Well, it's interesting because in another life, when I was in college, I sold gold jewelry in college and made good money with that. And then it evolved into, I was in the jewelry business a bit, doing home shows, sort of like a jewelry party, but a jewelry party. But at some point, it became more gemstone centered. And I remember when I bought my wife the engagement ring, the guy let me in the back and said, look at it. And boy, what my eyes saw and what his eyes saw, two different things.
Two different things, yes.
Yes. So so Monalisa, is it fair to say that historically jewelry designers and gemologists have typically been men?
Yes. Very fair. Yes. And then jewelry companies are mainly owned by families, not individuals.
Interesting. Well, so what challenges did you have in a male-dominated field?
Are you sure you want to hear this? It's going to take all day.
What we call the version.
Yeah. I mean, I faced a whole bunch of challenges. First of all, like you said, I was in an industry that was dominated by men. So the first thing I did, even though the guy that was helping me initially, the person that was helping me initially to design my own pieces was male, but that was just for me. When I decided to create a line, I faced more challenges. I'll go to the downtown district in Los Angeles, and I'll try to talk to the jewelers. Many of them did not pay attention to me. They're like, oh man, she's here to waste my time. So it took a long time talking and trying to convince people that I was doing this as a business. First of all, I'm Black, I'm a woman, and I have an accent. Not an accent they are familiar with, because everybody does have an accent. So, I mean, it was really tough, but eventually I met a lady. One day I was walking through one of the booths in downtown, and this lady called me and said, "You know what, I've seen you walk through here before. Are you looking for something?" And I told her that, you know what, I'm so frustrated. Every time I come here, nobody really wants to help me. They think I'm not serious. They are giving me prices that in my head does not even make sense. So it's more like they're trying to drive me away. And she said, "You know what, sit here, I'm going to help you. Tell me what you need." So she had been in the business then for over 30 years. So I told her everything I needed. And since then, she's been my guardian angel.
Amazing. Well, you know, people, we say this often on the show, that people know the glory, but they don't know the story. Jewelry sparkles, and jewelry is beautiful, and jewelry speaks to who you are and individuality. But again, I have to emphasize what you said. You're Black, you're female, and you have an accent. And that's the first time I heard you say, and everybody has an accent. I have an accent they're not familiar with. So our viewers are typically parents of teen children and about that age group. And that's an important life lesson, because you were being driven away. And I'm sorry to say, there are hundreds of people like you who were driven away, but they're not like you because you didn't allow yourself to be driven away. So
exactly,
that's a lot more than jewelry. That's a lot more than just business. That's really some inside strengths. And what's the name of your jewelry line?
It's called Nehita Jewelry, like N as in Nancy, EHITA, Nehita Jewelry, which happens to be my middle name.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about you and your middle name. So I know that some fathers call their daughters their little princess. And, and I also know that many other people called you princess, but they weren't necessarily your father. So let's ask if my students would. What's that about?
Okay, I actually come from a royal family in Nigeria, and it's from a place called Edo State. My grandfather was the king of the entire area, and he passed on. Now his brother is the king. So I'm actually a real Ishan princess.
Interesting. All I think of is the movie Coming to America. So, and how royal you are. So that's wonderful. So can we get a little background of what it's like being a princess? What did you experience that other people didn't? What did what in your life did you do? Did you have to comport yourself a certain way? What was that whole aura of Monalisa, the princess, like?
Yeah. So growing up, every Christmas holiday, we spent it in the village. That's the town where we're from. It's not like a typical village that you see on TV. It's a little bit enlightened. So when we're there, people come like in the morning and they say, "Do Eje," that's greetings, my princess, greetings, my prince, greetings, things like that. And then we go to the royal, the palace. When we get to the palace, everybody stands up and kind of gives a bow when a prince or a princess comes in. Let me give you a quick example. My dad passed on 4 years ago, and then I went to Nigeria to bury him. A friend of mine went with me from LA, and when we got to the palace, I mean, we were just walking in. She didn't know what to expect, but I knew what to expect, and I forgot to warn her. When we got to the palace, the king was having like a meeting with some men, maybe settling a dispute, maybe about 5 men. And immediately they announced my name because somebody announced that Princess Monalisa is here. And all the other men stood up and kind of bowed down. They wouldn't look at me. Okay. And then I had to walk on to them. So my friend was confused, like, what was she supposed to do? Why did I tell her? And I'm like, sorry, I didn't even think about it. So yeah, that's the kind of treatment we get.
Outstanding. That's great. And so now we go from princess to businesswoman here in the United States. And you've grown your business to the point where A-level celebrities they now wear your jewelry. How'd they find out about you? How do they know? Where do you meet them? What do they buy? Give us the dirt. Not really the dirt, but whatever you're comfortable saying. But we want to know what that looks like.
Yeah, just like getting into the jewelry business, it was tough as well. I did not know anybody. I didn't know any celebrities, but I just happened to have a friend who has a friend who has a friend. You know how LA is. Everybody knows somebody who knows somebody who knows a celebrity. And then I was being introduced. The first person, big celebrity I was introduced to was the late Whitney Houston. And from the minute she was able to wear the jewelry pieces, everybody saw credibility in the line. And then I had publicists, managers, agents contacting me that their clients wanted to wear the jewelry for the Oscars, for the Emmys, for, the Golden Globes, and evolved from there.
Amazing. And also, my research has shown that some people buy jewelry and some people wear it and rent it just for the night. And you offer those kind of services also?
Yes, I do. I offer both. Most of them actually just rent it for big events, and then they come back to you to make things that they really want to, maybe to give out as a gift or things they've always wanted for themselves. Yeah.
Do they have an idea of what they want, or do they say, Monalisa, knock me out? And then you say, I'm thinking this, I'm thinking that. Do you have it already in the showcase? Is it something you look at them and say, I have a vision of what you have to wear to the Oscars. I'm going to draw it, and then in 2 weeks come back and you can wear it. What's that process?
Sometimes that happens based on the outfit. So the first thing I have to do is see their outfit. So if it's a high neck, definitely they don't need a necklace. Yeah. So the first process is I see the outfit, then I put out some things. I suggest a whole bunch of pieces to them based on, I also do my research. I check online, see the kind of earrings they like. Do they like drop earrings? Do they like stud earrings? And then I put some pieces together. Then I go over to them, and usually 99% of the time, they usually find something that they like.
That's great. And how do you go from princess in Nigeria? These people will bow to you. You come here and people pay no attention to you. Now you are a businesswoman. Wonderful. I come in. I'm sure you'll be very nice to me. Mark, here's the bracelet you want. But now celebrities are coming in. How do you react to that? I mean, I'm sure you treat everyone equally, but you have to go from they're coming in and you're the expert in the room. I would argue that you're the celebrity in the room during that purchase. So how do you walk that fine line between admiring the person, handling them as a business person? That's got to be very different than when I walk into Macy's or someplace and buy something, or if even I walked into your store. Although I hope you would treat me as a celebrity. But in any event, I want the full treatment. But how does that work in your mind? I mean, that's a big thing, from princess to it being ignored, accent, black woman, businesswoman. Now you're coming to me and you're famous coming into me.
It's I have to keep it very professional. Sometimes, so I've played it both ways, where I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I'm your fan. Oh, I can't believe that you're right here and I'm talking to you and all that. I've played it that way. Some people react well to it. Others don't. Others are like, you know what, let's do what we're here to do and let's leave. And other people go like, oh my goodness, where are you from? I love your accent. Oh my goodness. You know what? Yeah, let's sit down. Let's do this. Let's do that. So I have to really look at the person, gauge the person, and try to figure out their personality within a split second, and know how to react to keep it very professional, because I don't want to offend them, So it's a day-to-day thing.
Excellent answer. I'm thinking that jewelry that I buy, certainly jewelry that my wife buys, they speak to you and they speak to who you are, and they represent you in the way kids wear certain jewelry, young people. It's based on expressing themselves. But I would have to argue that I've seen your jewelry line. It's spectacular times 10, but I think it speaks to who you are first before the person wears it and decides, oh, what Monalisa designed speaks to me. But it had to speak to you first. What does this jewelry line represent about Monalisa?
The jewelry line represents colors. I love colors. So if you go on the Nahita website, you're going to see red and green and blue. You're not just going to see all white gold, yellow gold, rose gold. No, I like to put a little bit of color. Look at my earring. It has colors. My blouse has colors. So I just love colors. So that is what represents me with the Nahita line. The colors that are a little bit of colors that I add to it.
Yeah, that's definitely obvious on the website. They really bounce out at you. I mean, it's very sharp images, and it really speaks to who you are. So you had, I'm not going to say you're just getting started, but you are not going to be finished for quite a while. But up to today, what's your favorite moment in your career so far?
My favorite moment was when Whitney called me to her hotel. She actually picked up her phone and called my cell phone. And I thought it was a joke. And she called me and she said, I'm at the Beverly Wilshire. Can you come? Because I'm coming out with an album, a new album, and I want you to design a unique piece for me. This was like 10 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. And I told my husband, Whitney just called me and he was like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah.
Whitney who? That's what I would have said. Whitney who?
Hilton. He was like, okay, I'll take you, let's go. So I went there and I did the piece and she wore the piece for her new album and it was amazing. So that has been my wow moment of my career.
You remember what album it was?
She treated me like every other person, like, oh, hi, I've heard so much about you. I like your storyline. Come on, sit here, let's work on it.
Oh. And do you remember what album it was or no?
It was her last album.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I guess she heard about you from other people as well. So
she had found me from her goddaughter. From her goddaughter, who's my friend. Yeah, it was her first appearance after over 10 years of not coming out. Yeah, it was her first appearance, her last album, her last movie. She wore the Nahita pieces.
Outstanding. And I have to tell you, Monalisa, a little birdie told me that in your little spare time, of which you have none, you also have a law degree. So the first question is, how did you find the time? And the second one is, tell us about that. That's a tremendous, I have many friends who have gone to law school, and that is a long, arduous, tremendous commitment. And love to hear about your experiences with that.
Yes, so I went to law school back in Nigeria and I came here in 1998. My husband is a lawyer. He schooled here. And I just came straight and started working with him. I worked with him for 8 years. He does civil litigation. So I just went straight into the American law, started learning it, working with him as a paralegal because I hadn't taken the California bar. And then I decided to start a workers' compensation department in his office because we found out that from his employment discrimination cases, that there was always an area of workers' compensation. So we needed to form or start a workers' compensation department. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need the California bar. I can still go to court, take some classes, go to court and do the workers' compensation. And that was what I did. I started a workers' compensation department in his law firm, and I ran it for about 7 years and I stopped. Now, I just focus on the jewelry business and my nonprofit organization.
Right. So can we hear about your nonprofit organization?
Yeah, my nonprofit organization is called Upward African Women. What we'll do is educate women and children all over Africa. And then we also mentor kids in underprivileged neighborhoods in Los Angeles. For example, in Compton, in Inglewood, we mentor kids bi-weekly. You know, we encourage them to go to college because many of them are first generation kids. and they don't understand the importance of going to college. I'm not saying everybody has to go, but if we find kids who want to go but don't have anybody to encourage them, then we step in and then we mentor them and we encourage them, we help them through the process, and just give them an avenue to speak to somebody else and let them know that they can do better than their parents did. They can go a step higher.
Wonderful that you donate your time and efforts into that. When you say we mentor them, could you tell us a little bit about the we?
Yeah, so I'm an Upper African woman. We have a team of about 6 women. They're all professionals, an engineer, the secretary is an engineer, Ania Core. We have a treasurer, Uche. We have the director of our schools in Africa, CA and Missy. So it's a group of professional women, about 6 of us. And we work hand in hand. And we have a professional writer, Norma, who helps us with all our writing and trying to look for grants.
Outstanding. And kudos to those women for also giving back. How did the pandemic affect your business? I'm sure it changed within the year and a half, but how did that affect the way you do business?
What? The
pandemic?
COVID?
Yes.
Oh, the pandemic. Yeah, it actually affected it in a really, really bad way because I used to do business all across in different countries. And of course, with the pandemic, everything slowed down. The price of gold went up. People were more concerned about staying alive than buying a necklace, luxury items. It was not a necessity. So the basic necessity everybody needed, even till now, is more of staying healthy and food. So yes, the business just, sales went way down, and we're just praying to be able to survive. But in the past couple of months, things have been picking up, and we're just grateful for every day.
Absolutely. And so many businesses suffered, and to go, usually it's about profit. And it went from profit to survival. Forget profit. Am I going to make enough to pay the lighting bill and the advertising bill and just, the formerly easiest of things. So very difficult times. And obviously somebody like you could only persevere. So how can people learn more about you? More about your business, more about your nonprofit?
Yeah, they can learn all of our social media. The organization is Upward African Woman. If you literally Google my name, it will pop up somewhere. So the business nehita.com, the nonprofit upwardafricanwoman.org. And then if you just want to know about me, it's monalisaokojie.com.
Excellent. Thank you for that. We'll be sure we put that up there. And Monalisa, I want to thank you for joining us today and sharing your incredible journey. What a journey it was. And it's just getting started. So
yes.
Thank you for what you do for people in the other countries and for giving back. That's an amazing thing. Just thank you so much for being with us today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It's been fun.
Thank you for watching Life Stories with Marc Hoberman. To contact Marc, email him at info@lifestorieswithmarchoberman.com or visit him on social media through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Thank you for watching Life Stories with Marc Hoberman.